What the heck is love?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
These first two factors are in fact probably the earliest forms of love to exist, specifically in mammals, birds, and some early mammal-like reptiles. Oxytocin is the most basic key ingredient to love. It reaches high levels in nursing mothers to cause lactation, which may also increase the feelings of emotional bonding, and has proven to do so in both voles and sheep. This bonding is extremely useful because it will cause the mother to care for the baby, and the baby to feel safe around the mother, but probably not a stranger. As animals age, the difference in sexual biology begins to have an impact on how they respond to chemicals like oxytocin. Females will get the same bonding feelings from oxytocin as they did when reared by their mother. However, testosterone has a neutralizing effect on oxytocin. In a study on monogamous prairie voles, males have the same part of their brain stimulated for bonding that females do with a chemical called AVP. AVP is used to also induce territory markings and other functions, just like how oxytocin has multiple functions. Females have more oxytocin receptors and males have more AVP receptors in the exact same areas of the brain that cause bonding. Due to ethical issues in human experimentation, it has yet to be proven that this same chemical offers the same effects, but similar levels of these drugs have been found in humans who claim to have love for their partners, indicating that the chemicals have at least a similar effect in humans and an impact on the study of love. Oxytocin is stimulated by physical contact or cuddling, and AVP levels are detected as heightened when men are sexually aroused. This means that women need the cuddles to feel bonded, while men can get the bonding feeling just by being sexually aroused by a woman, which would indicate why John Hinckley was driven to shoot Reagan for Jodie Foster. Thanks to the power of TV, men can get the bonding drug from never actually ever meeting a woman. It's quite possible in the future judges will require stalkers to have an AVP receptor blocker, and the guys will realize what an idiot they've been once their emotions stabilize. Being aware of your emotions and what is actually happening versus how they get interpreted in your brain is essential, or you could end up appearing creepy or pushing away the very person you feel bonded to even though they don't feel it. Another factor affecting a parental love is the power of cute. Humans have been programmed to get a dopamine rush when seeing something cute, which will drive them to protect the thing they find cute. Oddly, cute is very subjective, and tests have found even pictures of a big rock sitting on top of a little rock induces the cute emotions. This is why adoptions cross species occur, even predator-prey sometimes will occur. If the parent is well fed enough, the baby may be cute enough to that animal that is protecting it, and bonding with it is more rewarding than eating it. Cute power is very advantageous in the mammal species, because a mother giving birth without it could easily think at birth, "What is this screaming parasite coming out of me? Kill it!" However, it is so hardwired into us that having a logical discussion on topics such as abortion and other child-related topics means that there is something of a mental shutdown, and people get to thinking, "Aw, baby," and suddenly it's like trying to have a logical discussion with someone who just took a snort of cocaine. Logic is just not going to play into this discussion. Cute power, along with empathy, also causes what could be best described as animism. It is a feeling of empathy for an inanimate object, or assuming something can feel pain or emotions that it is actually incapable of. Just a projection of their own empathy going a little overboard. It requires careful study and psychological tests to determine whether an animal is capable of suffering or has emotions, because our own projections quite often get in the way of an unbiased study. Attraction. In Jared Diamond's book, The Third Chimpanzee, he discusses the fact that our tribal roots led us to be attracted to people somewhat similar in appearance to people we are raised with, but not too closely that it could lead to incest. Incest is, of course, a serious genetic negative. This phenomena most likely occurs because we had an oxytocin-induced bond early on with someone and had secondary reinforcement, and the appearance and pheromone sense were linked with emotion and trust. On occasion, social pressures on a tribe would cause traits to be found to be more attractive. A heroic person became idealized, a leader or a chieftain was seen as great, and children would see a lot of that person and feel attracted to that physical type of person because they were trusted and people they saw on a regular basis. These people became vicariously someone they were raised with. In turn, there were mutational traits that society found more attractive by tribal lore. Blue eyes and red hair or blonde hair were either idealized as a mark of power or vilified as the person being a witch that must be feared. I had a professor from Etria who said that my red hair and blue eyes would have led to my persecution because they are all dark-skinned and brown-eyed. If idealized, the trait would propagate in that area, but if feared, the gene would be destroyed. Body size and the ability to hold fat was an important trait in women because they could better survive a famine. In Etria, a woman cannot marry unless she is about 200 pounds, and will be whipped if she does not gorge herself. Fat storage is a useful trait in famine-prone areas, which is why Africans, Asians, and indigenous peoples are 4 times more likely to become obese than whites or persons from areas with lower levels of famine. This style of attraction worked for many years, but now thanks to TV, the people we are raised with are all movie stars, and when we go out to find someone, we are mostly only attracted to movie star-like persons. These persons are watched by everyone, so they create a high demand. However, the people that can actually get them also have people throwing themselves at these people, so our movie star-like populations have their own problems. Photogenic people are attractive because they are symmetrical, and that is linked in our minds to healthy. People who are photogenic aren't necessarily the most attractive. If TV didn't exist, people would probably be attracted to a much wider variety of persons. We would also interact more with a wider variety of people, as TV was not keeping us inside. For the first time ever, the entire population has a consensus on what is attractive. Companies realized this, and were able to define for people what beauty was. And they were usually something that no average person has a genetic disposition without serious invasive surgery or self-starvation or spend hundreds a year on products, making it their only goal in life to look like the people they are supposed to look like to be considered by companies as attractive. Beauty companies have created a problem and promised a solution. However, it is one that you may never get the results from, and they keep changing the rules of the game. So to feel good about yourself, you literally have to spend all your time focused on how they want you to look, which is great for them because you won't be spending your time thinking about other things, which may lead you to question if what they are saying is true, and if you really do have a problem, or does what they sell have a solution. On top of that, even models they use are airbrushed to perfection, enhancing cleavage, digitally chopping of the butt, removing natural blemishes. So even these models we are trying to look like don't actually look like that at all. Basically, if you don't look like you are a cartoon or computer generated, you are ugly and need to pay through the nose for our product. Unfortunately, they have exploited a biochemical and neurological component that in the day was not a problem.